What's going on, everybody? My name is Terminus, and today we're here for the last episode of Maiden Abyss. Holy shit. It's been quite a journey, hasn't it? It's been quite a while. Let me just apologies for that. Kinda just nudge you over a little bit. Yeah. I don't know. I often kind of just don't know what to say at final episodes. I haven't had them very often yet. We had that case a couple of weeks ago with 𝐏𝐢𝐏. We do have that case today with Maiden Abyss, and I don't know if I can actually live up to the weight of the last episode. Because last episodes are a lot. They always are. Like, we have 2 episodes worth of material roughly to go, like around 40 minutes. I've seen it. I don't know what to expect. I do expect some kind of resolution to the conflict. I do expect that 𝐸𝐴𝐵TA is gonna come to some kind of conclusion, and that it will probably involve Bellows' memories, that it will possibly involve Nanachi's actions and 𝐏𝐬𝐪's actions, and maybe even Riko, because Riko has been in many ways not at the forefront in this season. She is our central character, our main character. Well, I mean, obviously 𝐏𝐬𝐪 is also the main character. That is one way that we kind of broke away from the typical hero's myth. 𝐏𝐬𝐪 is not just like the supernatural aid, he is also a main character in his own right. As is Nanachi at this point. It's great that we find a lot of characters that are inherently very interesting, and instead of making them like really good supporting cast characters, we actually take them along and raise them, elevate them to this main character status that we have. Not only in terms of like how much we focus on them and how much we get to know about them, but also in terms of how we feel about them, right? Because not every story can actually do that, to kind of just take a character and put them into a spot where the audience is not gonna think, okay, this is a very, very good side character, but rather that the people are actually gonna be like, okay, this is a new main character who's just come in and who is almost, if not as important as the character we started out with, in this case Riko, or the characters we started out with, in this case Riko and 𝐏𝐬𝐪. I do wonder if 𝐏𝐬𝐪 and or 𝐸𝐵TA and or any other character, I mean, I haven't met a lot, like maybe whatchamacallem, our robot buddy, but Gabu is, I think, kind of out of commission at this point, so I would assume either he gets repaired and takes care of something around the village, if the village is still a thing at the end of this season, or he, yeah, I don't know, but I can very well imagine like 𝐸𝐵TA and or 𝐏𝐬𝐪 to get along with our team and journey along, although 𝐏𝐬𝐪 less so, because 𝐏𝐬𝐪's purpose was 𝐸𝐴𝐪. So whatever 𝐸𝐴𝐪 does, wherever 𝐸𝐴𝐪 goes, I do have a suspicion that 𝐏𝐬𝐪 wants to follow, wants to be there, wants to, right? If 𝐸𝐴𝐪 dies, maybe even, I don't know, right? I don't know what she's gonna do, what she would be doing. Maybe taking care of people that are the people that have survived and are surviving, right? Because she's been taking care of the village for all this time. Again, we still don't know if it's just the children who have done the balancing, or if it's in like to a degree also 𝐏𝐬𝐪, because in a way 𝐏𝐬𝐪 feels all of these, or has felt all of these nerve signals, right? Being connected to 𝐸𝐴𝐪 and to the children. I don't know if like 𝐸𝐴𝐪 / the children have been doing the balancing in the sense that they roughly know what 𝐏𝐬𝐪 would want, right? And try to put that into action, right? Much like they took 𝔸𝕓𝕠𝕦𝕥, or however he's fucking called, that bastard, and put him like, because in Waco's eyes, in her memories, he is that kind of like tall, strong figure that, and put that in as a guardian of the village because of these associations of tall and strong. But obviously, I mean, look at that, right? Imagine the personification of your trauma comes to life, and you are kind of connected to it. That is fucking rough, like really, really rough. Especially with the symbolism we've been seeing, that is super uncomfortable and creepy if you look specifically at it, right? The sword comes out of an office that looks very sus, right? And it gets pulled out, right? And then it has a secret power, right? And it's a great sword. And you all who have a thing for metaphors and can put two and two together, you know what it's supposed to mean, and it's really heavy if you think about it. But it's interesting that I don't know how much of it is in the manga that way, if it's as much in the background as it is here in the anime, or if it's actually more at the forefront and being explained more blatantly. But if it's similar to the anime, I know the anime does a couple of stuff where they are more subtle than the manga apparently was. But if it's similar to the anime, at least in that it keeps these things in the background for people to discover who have more of a keen eye and like can observe a little bit better, then I think it's very interesting that we do have these themes going along, but we're not shoving them in people's faces, but rather we're like, okay, if you pay attention, there's an underlying thing, right? We don't put any like conclusions or morals onto it. We just state them, and they are the way they are, right? And the viewer and the reader, the audience, are supposed to make their own conclusions, and only the conclusions to our personal character arcs are gonna in some way reflect how our characters process this. And it doesn't even have to be a good way to process things. It doesn't even have to be like a narratively sound way to process it in a way that people who do these things, right, our plight masters, basically our like overlords of trauma, right, the people who cause this, get their just desserts. That's not what the point of the story is, right? It's not a story where we have a moral in the end, like if you do bad things, or if you damage other people or hurt other people, you're gonna get hurt yourself. I mean, I guess we have a couple of themes like that in there, but it's not a theme that's being put out and being like, here, look, you do bad things, you get bad things. No. What we get here is bad things happening to people, and how do they grow up with them? How do they deal with them, not deal with them, right? Process them, deny them, right? How do they live with them? And that is interesting in its own right, because if it's done right, if it's done properly, it is a way for us to reflect reality in a way. It's not a thing where we as the viewer might be satisfied with the conclusion our characters arrive at, or right, our traumatized characters arrive at, but at the very least we can see that there's things that ring true to what reality would be, even if we're in absolutely crazy Cthulhu La La Land, where everything is twisted and broken and whatnot, but it fits in perfectly, right? And at the same time, it does have that connection to reality. So yeah, that's very fascinating. Has been fascinating for me from the get-go. Has been a really, really cool aspect of this series in general. And we'll see how we conclude this portion of our journey, how we move on, because obviously, like for me at least, obviously there is a point where we have to move on, and this was the arc, right? The Ieroboru arc, the Iramui arc, the arc of the original settlers. Where do we leave with all of our characters? Which one of them will die? Which one of them will fade from their dream, right? Which one of them might find a way to survive, right? We don't know how it is. I mean, Fapta has her wish-granting devices, 3 of them. So if she uses one of them, maybe there's a way to not have all of the villagers die, and then, because it would be an interesting thing, right? If our villagers ended up being in the place they were and being left to their own devices at this point, right? Not having that sheltered, protected life, but also not living in a bubble, not living in a glass house, not living in a dream where, yes, sure, they're safe, right? And they can live out their desires, but at the same time, there is nothing happening here. It's stale, it's stagnant. And I think there was a saying, I don't know who said it, I don't know when it was said, but I think it's a very good saying, right? If we talk about like languages or cities or similar things, language is like one of the most like prime examples, right? A language that does not change is a dead language, right? Because language changes and develops like life does. A life that does not change, right, is a dead life in a way. Not necessarily, I mean, you can't apply that to everything, but in this specific case of our village, right? They all had desires and many of them gave up on them, right? Settled for something that they maybe made themselves believe that this is enough, right? That they are satisfied with what they have here and that they will be in perpetuity. I don't know if I used that word right. But yeah. Let's get into it, right? For everybody who hasn't seen any one of my videos before, what are you doing? What are you doing? This is the final episode of the second season of the series. I mean, I get it, but there's an entire series. There's an entire series to watch. Go watch it. Other than that, there's a pip in the description down below. At least for now, this is how we do things. There's gonna be the edited reaction right here. If you want to see that, go for it, right? Check out my Discord. Check out my Patreon. Give me a like and subscribe to the channel if you liked what you saw. And let's... Alright. Made in Abyss. Season 2, the final episode. Episode 12 starts in a 3, a 2, a 1. No, holy shit. And the yellow streaks in the hair. Okay, that is cool. Like, that's a really cool streak in the design. And the village echoes that. And we do have the sword. Ooh. Alright, so we do see the holy power of the sword. If you like it or not, this is the will of the village. I do like that. Those subtitles. Furor. The longing. Yes, find your duty. Last time intro. Alright, let's go. Not the last time we'll be seeing the Abyss. I'm pretty sure. Way too amazing a series. Alright, gold. And we don't even have the little ringtone and whatever. And we're going back to a serene moment, I guess. Maybe after she was born, right? Or maybe after Reg left her? I don't know. Ooh, this is 𝐏𝐢𝐏, right? Is this how she discovered him? All grown in. Wow. Why was he inactive? They've noticed you. And she's like a cat. No, so he is broken. Questions, questions. Yeah, I wonder if this is how she picks up on the language, right? Because this is how babies do it, right? They hear their parents talk and slowly but steadily it all makes sense. It's incredible how much and how fast they can learn. Like a newborn, she...
この価値探しの遊びは楽しい。集めるのお前も出来上がっていくしな。C が集まると食う。他にもあると言ったな。もっと教えろ、母の言葉を。
Mother's words. She. A modest wish, the beginning of desire. Now desire. Accumulating. Goods. Purity, crystallization of value. The liberation of a wish. The highest value. I wonder why it's 5, if that has any significance. Or more than 5. Irreplaceable. Noble maiden and immortal one. Okay. And he made the name up. The Queen's Guardian, okay. I do love the point of view shot. Wow. Are we gonna see everything, right? From the beginning? And she discovers Reg. Oh, Menya?
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Menya's like, what the fuck you doing? And he doesn't wake up. She's the same as mother. What does she mean, the same as mother? Connected to the abyss? She, alright. Worth. The start of worth, the start of desire. I wonder if you can read more into that.
恐れるな。お前には自らを解き放つ使命がある。
Freeing her spirit.
人の石には石のそれぞれの使命があるそうさ。
Duties.
村には化粧できるものが現れる。
ニラソスがやむを得まい。
Don't like giving it to the
やっぱ
village.
静止のものはしゃぶれずにいる。頼んだぞ。
Let her voice ring out.
回す前に戻る。
それにレグも母を見れば思い出すはず。
なんだその毛髪は。
レグ以外の二人は脆いソス。イフケブロの毛に混ぜて獣よけするソス。
なぜレグたちと直接話さない。
Yeah, why the avoidance?
君が案内すればその工作も必要ないのでは。
目が多いの。すかんソス。
She is socially shy.
でやっていけるのか心配だ。
She's just fucking shy. That's the thing. Don't like many eyes. We all interpret, like having the interpretation being like, oh god, what does that mean? What does that mean? And we end up finding out she's just not that comfortable around a lot of people, which makes sense, right? Not only because 𝐏𝐢𝐏 was that way too, but also she isn't used to it. And we start out with Reg again. No, with Rico. Okay, okay. Why did she faint?
揺れてる。ここは？
ここは
So what are those classes?
遅れてもじゃりを。
ありがとう、マジカジャさん。
Did I totally forget Rico had glasses? I think I did. Holy shit. Man, Majikaja, you and your forms.
面目ね。私こそ危ないことさせて。
ファプトを止めることができなかった。
そう気に病むことねんじゃね。
Every one of them.
わちらだって子供3人にどうかされたなんて思っちゃいねえさ。
Yeah.
の成り立ちを知っちまった。ファプタの声も聞いちまった。遠い昔に一人の女の子が悪夢に落ちてよ。
They understand that it's not on Reg and Rico and Nanachi.
カジャ、いつかこんな日が来る思ってた。ミスケソもガウメも言ってた。
So they knew to a degree.
途方もない冒険を目指したのにさ。てめえらは延々と何してんのかねって。
I do wonder if Kaja and Mugi were like friends before they landed in the village. Because it seems that way. Oh yeah, that's fucking Wasekyan.
いやあ、みんな揃ったんだね。このままで失礼するよ。
Like a cocoon.
いや、参ったね。もう空っぽでさ。麦ちゃん、そそのかしたなんてひどいじゃない。これはみんながみんなそれぞれを思って行動した結果、積み重ねで起きたことさ。なあ。
そう。なんとも無性に腹立たしい。
Mm.
行こう。
He's a master at talking his way out of any situation.
めちゃくちゃ来てよかった。私、奈落の底を目指したりせずに地上でずっと暮らしてたらきっと思いもしなかった。呪いの満ちた絶海にこんな場所があるってこと、こんな素敵な人たちがいるってこと。だからここに来れて本当によかった。
And we go back to her unshakable attitude.
あの羅針盤、ちょっと前まで私が持ってたの。
マジで？それは驚きだね。
でも次拾った人もきっと冒険に出て来てよかったってなったらよくない？
僕にはもうそこまで見えないけど。
He can't see that far ahead.
エラフの意志をもらったんだね。いい匂いに磨きがかかってる。我々はね、人以上のものになりたかったのさ。
We or you?
大穴をうがつには人を超えなければならない。
Yeah, in a way, right?
住人として慣れ果てること、祝福され力を得ること、呪いに打ち勝つ体を持つこと。
A body that triumphs over the curse.
積み重ねだけだ。それらの積み重ねだけが
Accumulation of what? Desire?
途方もない年月を奈落と寄り添い、培ったしたたかさが、
Becoming part of it.
純粋さが、導かれた申し子が混ざり、継いでいった積み重ねだけだ。今、
Heaven sent children.
端にいるのが君たちであり、そして道を決めようとしているファプタだ。だから、
And he's gonna crumble.
今や一つ。どうかあの子を頼むよ。
Like Bondrewd, right? Who let Nanachi go.
望郷を旅の先に持つ奈落の子供たち。叶わない夢より恐ろしいものが黄金の先で待つ。せめて夢を叶えて絶望しておくれ。
ふーんだ。あなたの言う通りになんかならないよ。
いいね。
Rico's like, nah. I believe.
こいつは結局どこまで見えていたんだろうな。
Was that Fapta? Oh yeah.
マジカジャさん？
ミンゴーン。
リコ、わちらは行かなきゃなんね。
行っても大丈夫なの？
お姫様がよ、初めて呼んだんだ。わちらを滅ぼすとまで言った声で、今はただ純粋に呼んでんだ。
They understood instinctively.
それに、わちらも大穴に挑んだアホなんだ。どう終わるかはてめえで選ぶさ。そんでおめえらはどうすん？
力場が入り込んでたら進めなくなるかもしんねえ。行こう！だよな。もはやどこにいたって危ねえ。心してかかろうぜ。
It's time to move on, I guess.
すまないな、宿の主人。
メポポホンさんだよ。ギャリー、パーファボー
うむ。ハークランティネ。何を言っているのかわからない。かわいいな。
みんなカジャに乗ってく。パコヤが急ぐ言う。
ボスと一緒にいたはずのブエコンがいないって。
そういえば入れ違いになったか。
And of course, she's the one who's like, where is she?
ほれ、リコ。わちとマジカジャからだよ。揺れるとこで見るとようで。
これ、お母さんの封書の一部。あの人が売ってた。
Another piece.
ガウメにお姫様の一部渡したら喜んで取引してくれたんさ。ありがと
う、ムーギーさん。マジカジャさん。
コンボス。
ハーリー、これも積み重ねなる。
Accumulation. We'll talk about that later. It can mean a lot of things. It's really hard to decipher it, but I think I understand.
マーさん、私を選んでくれてありがとう。何一つ全部忘れない。
Rico. Oh, but the force field is coming back.
どうして向かっているのだ。
Isn't she gonna... maybe not.
今さら何ができるというのだ。あの子たちは無事なのだろうか。リコ、何をそんなに気にかける。あの子が自分の何だというのだ。
I just gotten to know her, right?
あの子はきっと決断してきたのだ。私よりも小さくて、私よりもできることが少ないのに。
She inspires you.
差し伸べてきたのだろう。冒険の手を。あの子たちに。あの子にも。あの子にも。
Magnetic. Fearless.
一つ決断できなかった自分にさえも。あったな、自分で決めたこと。
One thing, yeah, leaving, making that journey. Think back. Taking that step. And it's at the end that she remembers all of this. It's been so long for her. It must have been so long. And we see a blue-haired girl in the back. The curse. Yeah. 'Cause the force field is coming in. Oh. Yeah, I thought so, but what is she gonna do? She gonna die here? Or is somebody gonna find her? Don't throw her down the stairs, what the hell are you doing? And she's gonna disappear. What is she gonna do? To Fapta? Is that it? Oh, so holy shit, the dragons. No! No! That dragon! Wait, hold, not that one. Why is he spitting blood? Well, fighting to the last. There are the eyes again. Time is of the essence. Don't beat yourself up, Reg. Yeah, he can still control his hand, of course. And she's going for the whistle. And Reg's gonna go power mode. Oh, it's actually, you feel it yet? It's actually burdening her as well. I didn't get that until now. It's like, it's burdening Reg, right, with the energy and whatnot. It's burdening her as well. I didn't realize that until now. Oh, dude. Bro just broke the fucking sound barrier. I did love this piece of animation there. Orokamono. No forgiveness.
だが役目を与えるソス。ファプタは母の体に残された価値を使う術を知ったソス。だがまだ足りぬ。
What are you thinking?
お前たちに眠る。お前たちを食い。ファプタは今の母を知る。母に残された価値のすべてをファプタは
Take it with her, right? Accumulate it.
あの侵入者どもも落ちて潰れソス。
世話かけちまうな。そのつもりで来たんさ。
I mean, they can't go on anyway, right? They're gonna
ちらの代わりに頼むぜ。
take our value and take it with you. Right? In a way, carry on. Carry on for us. Do the things we weren't able to do. Because if you take on the value, you don't just take on the value, you take on the desires as well, I guess. Not in the truest sense, right? But the dreams of people.
崩さねば獣たちも残る。仮想法この状況で10分後に混沌ならば
Alright, Drake, show me what you got.
この力ならいける。
Spiral energy, let's go. Pierce the heavens, Rick. Alright, Dad. We're going Gandalf on this, okay? You shall not pass.
あなたがファプタの生きる意味だ。
And she's gaining all of the experiences.
今役目を果たすぞせ。
End it. What are they gonna do with Veko though?
急ぐよ。
首をやっちまわないようリコを押さえといてくれ。
I mean, we're still going downwards.
自分が許せなかった。あなたの子供を食べて生き続けたことが。あなたと一緒に死ねなかったことが。
Yeah. Oh, do I? This music track, holy shit.
あなたとの関わりをつなぎ止めようとしていた。
I love that. What is this?
最初に聞いた声にならない声。誰にも言えなかった。あなたが本当に欲しかったのは子供だけじゃなかったこと。すべてが望郷に消えた。もはやできることはあなたを忘れまいとすることだけ。私を許せなかった。あなたの望みはあの子が継いだ。
Yeah. Not just the rage, but the hopes as well.
あなたの中に残ったものが今なくなろうとしている。
Belaf.
イルミュイ、私を人のままにしてくれてありがとう。あなたを先に見とるという最も重い罰を受けることができた。
And she was there till the end.
ありがとう。大好きだよ。
And there we are.
暖かい闇。
The warm darkness. And it's all coming down. It's interesting how they said in the beginning that it looks like the carcass of a creature. I didn't feel like that at all.
やったやりおせた。
Obviously now knowing the story, you know that. But I don't see the resemblance, right? It looked like a tree.
ラが伝ソス。
And she's burned herself up.
あの時せめてあいつらも。そいつとは役目が終わった後だ。
Deal with her.
まで滅びていなければファプタは敬意を払うソス。間近じゃ名もない果てのもの。お前たちに役目を与える。そいつらを母の外へ逃がせ。
Away from danger. Right. Will she use her egg?
あの時あいつらも食っておけば力を残せたソスか。もうよい。もう終わったソス。
It's not. Reg is coming in. Yeah, I knew it. One duty ends, but your purpose is just starting, right?
マーさん、
Or that's how I see it.
マーさんに
Oh,
ごめんね。作りかけ。
she made it for her.
代わりになんかならないけど。マジかじゃん。大丈夫か。
全部の足壊れた。
Hmm.
到底許されないけど、役目のため。
マジかじゃん。
Ooh, and he's coming out in his true form. And he's offering himself as well.
これきちんと通してないからカジャ死ぬ。最後だけ。カジャ最後だけだから。
Oh, he took over! Holy shit, are you for real?
カジャパミ嬉しい。
You go, Kaja, you go. And with that, it's over, right? Look, can't believe I literally forgot Rico had glasses.
マーさん、ありがとう。
Ma's gonna disappear, right? Because we're outside.
マーさん。
Oh, is it gonna fuck it? Holy, alright. Fair enough. I wonder how much intelligence those beasts do have. In a way, this entire village was something very unnatural, wasn't it?
嬉しい。
Right, Kaja?
妙な夢を見たソス。
And now it's Fapta again.
お前が互いに生きていたとは。リコ、大丈夫か。
It's insane that Rico actually survived all of that unharmed.
永遠のゆりかごからアビスへ帰っていったんだ。
They returned to the abyss.
に帰ってきたんだ。
On the same path, right? Maybe after us. And since time is different, you never know.
みんなが助けてくれたこと覚えてる。おいらもだ。
Remember, Nanaji, all that you gather. Right? You're carrying them with you.
ファプタには聞こえるソス。あの長いやつの匂いで知るまでお前のことを知らんかったソス。出てほしいソス。ファプタの知らぬ母のことは。
イルミュイ。
ファプタはそんなに母に似てるソスか。
似てないかも。イルはすごく甘えん坊ですごく人見知りで。
You have parts of that, but
すべすべ似てる。とても温かくて、そして何をしても二度と帰ってこないの。
そうか。母にはお前がいたのだな。最後の最後まで。よかった。ファ ァプタは母のすべてを継いだと思っていた。だがブエロエルコ、お前がいたという記憶だけは
Because it still remained.
あった。ブエコ、母はたとえファプタであってもお前だけは
Haku.
お前だけは渡したくなかったのだ。
黄金鏡はよ、クズでも黄金に変えてくれるんだってよ。
あの声が届く遠く遠くまで来たのに今さら思い出すなんて。
Because he was right, even if he couldn't have known. And it was a completely different sentiment, but
なんそす。
私ね、暗い目をしてるって言われて嬉しかったの。あなたが見えた。だからあなたが見つけてくれたの。
そうそう。
いる。あなたが変えてくれた。
she held on to pass that on, right? That sentiment. And now it's not lost, it's inside of Fapta.
こいつは母のもの、ファプタのものではないそす。
True.
どうしてこんな気分になれそすな。
そうですね。
姿がないの。
な、帰っていっちまった。
墓を作ってやっているのか。
ガブールンが奴らは死んだらこうする言ってたそうさ。ニマそうさ。
Go back to the abyss, I guess, right?
な、
Making a headstone.
あ、そうそう。そうそう。寂しくないそうさ。
Oh, that's
魂が巡るまで
that's sweet.
ガブが言ってたそうさ。
It kind of reminds me of some like the Japanese festivals, right? Obon.
僕たちと一緒に来てくれないだろうか。
And we, yeah. Wait, we don't start me with gravity, okay?
それはすまない。ここにいたって未だに思い出せなくて不甲斐ない。
なんぞすか。じゃあファプタは関係ないじゃないぞすか。
違う。かつての僕は君のそんな姿を見ているのか。
Yeah, you met back then too.
君の恐ろしさも悲しさも美しさも僕は見た。僕は君と出会ってしまったんだ。行こう。僕は君と一緒に冒険に行きたい。
Get to know you once again.
なんそすか。愚か者の集まりそすか。やっぱそう思う。
Now that she's like, took the words right out of my mouth.
役目だったそす。出会った者たちを大事にしたいという。それがお前の役目なのだと石の者が言っている。トルシカの声聞こえる。喧嘩はダメだよ。そすか。
Wow, okay, so she can translate Brushka now.
すべて忘れても優しいままなのはお前たちゆえなのだろう。ファプタはもう行くそす。触れて。
Like Gabu did.
来てくれないのか。
Right? That's what he said. That's what the interference unit's saying.
考えておくそす。
ぜひ考えておいてくれ。おい、やめろ。
あいつふわふわだと見境ない。私もそうは思っています。
二度とは戻らない望郷の彼方、真の闇の中に誰にも見つけられなかった光は。
Wicca?
でもそれを手にするのは誰でもない。
invaluable,
あの
right?
だと知っているのに、行く末には闇しかないと知っているのに、だからだろう。あんなにも眩しいのだ。
ファッツィサンブレムソス。
A new adventure. I can't believe Rek still has only one arm. Like, holy shit, can we talk about this? Like, I mean, he has a second one, but Rico has it on her back, like, and he can move it. I mean, we saw that in... Although, to be fair, like, in Dawn of the Deep Soul, it wasn't clear if that was Rico firing the arm, right? Figuring that out, or if it was Rek doing it and Rico just holding it. So, this intro is, this ED is one of the best examples of how you can take relatively simple, simple drawings, right? You don't have any proper color grading, you just have shades of gray and white, right? Or black and white. And make it incredibly cool, artistic, and meaningful. You don't need 1,000 colors and complex forms to actually create something that resonates. Actually, maybe it resonates especially because it is so simple. Yeah, and unfortunately not any previews anymore. That is very unfortunate. It's over. Ovarida. Ovarida. I can't believe it. I don't know what to say to that, honestly. I mean, we'll go through it, we talk a little bit about it, but I mean, I talked so much about it already, right? During the episode and whatnot. It's been long, it's been really great. It's been a great send-off, very emotional. And it makes sense, right, that our characters, 𝐏𝐢𝐏, 𝐕 𝐷𝐸, that they couldn't go on. This is the consequences of their actions, as much as they maybe came to an end that was for them in a way satisfying. That they saw, yes, this is the end, and I'll pass on the experiences I've made. I pass on the longing I had, the wishes I had, the mistakes I made. And maybe you can fulfill them. Right? Maybe not my wishes specifically, but my wishes, my desires might help you finding and fulfilling what you want to do, which I absolutely love as a message, because it's very true to life in many ways. But yeah, back to YouTube, back to the discussion, and if you're watching this on YouTube. Yeah, seems to be mostly fine. It's been a while since I've seen the episode, actually, maybe around half an hour or an hour. I've done something in between, and then I had somewhat of a heated discussion on Discord about the nature of reaction and whatnot. I even made a video, but I probably didn't release it, so it is what it is, right? Preferences and reactions are always kind of a little bit weird, and like talks about the inherent value of what comes from it, right? And how it's transformative and whatnot, and other issues surrounding it, right? Value. Funny, isn't it? Kind of. We're having the same discussions, even if it's completely different topics. But let's talk about Made in Abyss. This incredible final episode. I do really love the color composition right here. Because if you look at it, you do have Fapta. It normally looks really nice to begin with in terms of like design, but we do have the mixed blood, which obviously adds to the atmosphere and everything. But we do also have the yellow parts now, which I don't know what that brought that about. I guess it could be the added value of the ones who offered themselves to her. Which makes perfect sense. We talked about it the last time. They wanted to, they knew it was the end. They wanted to pass it on. We do see 𝐸𝐴𝐏 one last time, which... yeah, very... I don't even know what this drawing is, right? Some kind of weird, like, person just smiling, and then the arrows being all pointed at the hole where the sword comes from, which... Right, again! Let's not talk too much about it, but... And it's... Oh god, I just realized that it's a glowing iron rod, right? Like the iron rod in the flashback with 𝐏𝐢𝐏. That is even more fucked up, holy shit. That is even more fucked up if you think about it. But yeah, it banishes. and 𝐸𝐴𝐏 is, interestingly enough, not full of rage and revenge, more full of almost a new purpose, as you can see. She's almost brightening up, right? Like this is now fun for her, right? She is more secure in her duty now, in what she wants to do and what she needs to do. And we do have great shots all around, great shots. The spit is flying. You fools who carry longing with you. 𝐸𝐴𝐏 is the voice of mother, she is one of you. Right? Which is interesting because now she acknowledges it. Before that we had the separation, right? I am not like you. But you, right? You used mother, and this like she was a part of you, right? She was... And it makes sense because we find it out later, right? That 𝐸𝐴𝐏 kept that part away from... no, that 𝐸𝐴𝐏 kept that part away from 𝐸𝐴𝐏. Why? Because if she gave it to 𝐸𝐴𝐏, she herself would lose it, right? At least this is how I understand it, right? If she, like with Belaf and whatnot, if she gives away these memories that she has, she passes them on, kind of like teaching it to a child before you die. She passes them on to 𝐸𝐴𝐏, and for 𝐸𝐴𝐏, interestingly enough and paradoxically enough, while she gave all of this desire for revenge, for like retribution to 𝐸𝐴𝐏, and also a little bit of her personality traits here and there, but we can call that genetic, right? What 𝐸𝐴𝐏 was missing was ironically exactly the thing that she needed to understand the situation completely. But maybe it wasn't what she needed before she was able to break into the village. Maybe what she needed before that was that unbridled rage, that desire to fulfill her duty, that burning, right? That she was made for this and this alone. And these memories that she got afterwards, they came at exactly the right time, right? And I don't know if 𝐸𝐴𝐏 was conscious enough, right, to actually plan it out like this, but we do know one thing, and that is that 𝐸𝐴𝐏 at the end, with the cradles and all of that, had a deeper connection to the abyss than all of the other villagers, than everybody else, right? We do have that little excerpt later on when we... Holy shit, my light is actually going out. I apologize about that. We're sitting in the dark again, apparently. Oh, yeah. Let me just... Yeah, that... At the end, 𝐸𝐴𝐏 was more connected to the abyss than all of them. And I do wonder if, just like with Rico, this deep connection kind of got us to a point where, or got 𝐸𝐴𝐏 to a point where she could be deeply connected to that, where she could actually, at the very least in feeling and intention and intuition, see this coming the way it was gonna come, right? With Belaf and whatnot, maybe with a little help of Belaf and 𝐏𝐢𝐏 and knowing them and whatnot. A fool who saw the path she must take within the darkness. and came this far, but never came further, right? Fapta's fine with being a fool. And that is beautiful, right? That shot and how we go into it, right? She lands on that and then we zoom in. Fapta will do her duty and go forth. She herself has fed this fire of her own longing, right? The fire of her own. The fire that's going around right here. And she is free, more or less. And then we go back and we find out more about her, right? We find out what's happening in general. Actually, give me a sec. Speaking of reflecting back, Fapta is reflecting on her journey so far and what she wants to do. I do love this shot. It's so great. With the almost like rib cages, right? You do see that. Right, the pillars, they look like rib cages, and she's still in the belly, right? If you want to see it that way. And she finds 𝐏𝐢𝐏. Which in the beginning it's so nice, right? The composition, how the light shines on him, and he's kind of bluish tinted and overgrown and all of that. And she finds him, and she's like a cat. She's like, get away. But she realizes that he can't do anything to her, and he's very much buried in the crowd, and he's just asking questions, right? Like an interference unit. To find out more. He wants to have more knowledge of all of this. And that's really cool. I want to see who you are and your power, which he senses. And she's being sent out, she repairs him, and he teaches her things, right? He talks to her like you would talk to a child constantly, right? And teach him things. And you know that probably some of what you're saying is not being understood properly or not coming through, but the incredible thing is children learn so fast. They learn languages like that, right? And this is right, they observe, and they observe so good, and it's amazing how quickly a child's brain develops and how quickly they learn to use languages depending on what they hear around them. It's also interesting because there have been cases of children who have actually been left completely in the wild without anybody around, right? Maybe with growing up with animals or whatnot. Those children turned out to be unable to speak, right? To talk to people, and being unable to learn language properly, right? Being unable to suppress their emotions to a degree and to live normally within society. And most of them died after a short period of time in society. Shows you a lot about how the environment influences us, right? How it is a big part of our own development. Yeah, we're learning stuff, right? She and the beginning of desire, a modest wish, right? It is a modicum of desire. And we go over to to 2, right? It's like ni, san, whatever, right? The piling up of value beyond desire, right? More than one, a pair. Accumulating wish, interesting. And then gutsu, or guts, the solidification of a wish, a crystallization of value. And then we have May, extraordinary value. Interesting that we do have, I don't know which symbol it is specifically, so I have to actually look that up again. Holy shit, that is a lot of frames. Yeah, 3, right? Interesting, because Fapta has 3 of those things, right? Purity. Is she purity in a sense? In a way, right? She was born of a wish, of a pure emotion, right? Of a pure, like, this desire. I do wonder, like, it's, yeah, it was 3 eggs. 3 eggs that made Fapta live. 3 eggs that 𝐸𝐴 got. 2 that, like, one that she was given in the beginning, a second one that 𝐕𝐴𝐩𝐸𝐾𝐢𝐏 gave her, and then 𝐕𝐴𝐩𝐸𝐾 actually gave away his body, and in his body there was another cradle, which she then took in. Then we have extraordinary value, the liberation of a wish, which is interesting. A wish liberated. I would think that that applies more to Fapta, right? That the wish was liberated, but then again, you would think that Fapta has 3 right now, and now that she's fulfilled her duty, the wish that 𝐸𝐴 had was liberated. So at this point, she might be Mei. And then we have the manifestation of a wish, which is interesting, because in a way we're manifesting the wish of 𝐸𝐴 to go, right? And to have all the villagers go as well at this point. Though maybe the manifestation of a wish. Purity and impurity as well as chaos. A good... Alright, that is Mei. Purity and impurity as well as chaos, right? So it's a mess. I don't know. It's difficult to say that, right? Purity and impurity as well as chaos. Because the... I don't know. The liberation of a wish would be chaos to a degree. I feel like that's right, but it's hard to describe or rationalize why that is the case. And then we do have Haku, right? Haku. Manifestation of a wish. We do have the 5 ones. 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a second one, which is almost like half an infinity sign. I do wonder if that's the case, because that could be a thing we're looking at. The manifestation, it means the shape of a soul, which, wow, okay. That is something to think about, right? The shape of a soul. Because that's almost like creating life. Almost like Fapta in this case, or... I mean, if Haku is the shape of your soul, then your Haku is maybe your soulmate, right? But how does that work with Fapta? Fapta having Reg as the Haku, and Haku having Riko as... Reg having Haku as the Riko as the Haku. Holy shit, I'm confusing myself here. How does that work exactly? With Riko's Haku? Because I don't know, it's not sure yet that it's Reg, right? Yeah. And we go through it. And he names her like Fapta. Immortal princess or noblewoman, right? A novel name, and she loves it. And she names him guardian of the princess, right? I mean, I guess the nickname is Gabu, but it's Gaburu or Gabururu. Yeah, and we do kind of find out how it happened, right? She met her. She met them again, and she finds out that Reg doesn't remember, or at least didn't go to her immediately. Like a painful thing for her, definitely, because she liked him so much. Yeah, and a human child, and she rightly identified her as like Haku. It's interesting how she was so close to them, and they didn't really get anything. Stupendous smell. Well, Nanachi smells good for everyone. We find it out right here, right now. Yeah. And she calls her Haku, and then Nanachi is the accumulation, like not the accumulation, right? It's the lowest. It's one thing. But yeah, I mean, old Reg probably could read those runes. And she takes Pushka with her because she can't talk in this form, which is what they don't know. And she has a lot of care for these stone people. It's like beings have beings duties, stones have stones duties. Very interesting. I do love the swishiness of the movement of her here. Like the animation of how it goes. Right, like the fluid nature. I don't know what she's doing here, but it's really cool how they show her like her powers and whatnot. And Gab goes to the village and gives it off. She's like, I really don't want to give it to the village, but at least, right, we can't leave her the way she is, so let's just do it. The intricate detail on like the machinery and stuff, amazing. It looks so cool, especially with the shading. And he's actually bringing up a really good point. He's like, hey, why don't you just go to him and be like, hey, Reg, what's up? And she's shy. She took that from Irumyui to a degree, right? I mean, it might also be more than that. It might be her just being nervous to meet Reg again, right? Especially if he didn't come immediately to her. She's like, what happened? Does he not care about me anymore? Yeah. And she's bashful and shy about it. But their dynamic is amazing. Your current demeanor makes me worry about whether you'll be able to manage. She's like, shut up. Leave me alone. And we're going back to the present day, where Gabu doesn't work anymore. Riko's waking up. And I didn't realize that the whistling, right, is taking something out of her as well, because she's connected to it. So that's very cool to see and have kind of low-key confirmed right now that this is a thing. And we're traveling in Magica. I love his different forms. It's amazing. I forgot the blue-haired's name. Something with V, I think. But she is on there as well, because obviously she's also not only she actually, I think, defended Riko in one of the early episodes, but also she wants to find where 𝐏𝐢𝐏 is. Yeah, and she's like, it ain't your fault, right? When I heard the story, it's like, it kind of was gonna happen eventually, right? And her youngest daughters have been trying to rouse her from that prolonged dream, from that nightmare of hers. And Kacha would thought this day come someday. Interesting that he is expressing it that way, because it makes me believe that Magikaja knew a little bit, at least partially, about the story of the village before we get to know it told by 𝐏𝐢𝐏. So I do wonder about that. I mean, we can't ask him anymore, unfortunately. And he's naming like friends of his, right? Miskeso and Gome. When they're drunk, they talk pretty seriously, you know. Although maybe Magikaja is actually someone from back in the day. If that's the case, let me know. Maybe I missed that. But it's like what we've been doing all this time. Yeah. You want details, you should ask the mastermind who roped you all into this. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, she seems like she might be also someone from back in the day, but she feels like someone who came along later on, right? Because she didn't know about all of this story and whatnot, so it feels to me like she came along as a cave raider of some sort, and then she was like, right, I'll join the village, right? This was the end of her dreams, right? Her own delusion, her dream, whatever you want to call it. So, this makes me kind of wonder if some of them were, like, part of the story originally, but I don't know. I don't know. It feels like Muyi came down here later on, but maybe I'm wrong. And they're having the last talk. This is the result of everyone going out of their way to care for each other, and obviously has a way to frame it in a very, very acceptable way. You want to hate him so bad, but the way he's saying things, right? You're like, what you're saying sounds really nice, but fuck you. An accumulation of deeds, and this is what we're carrying on, like, we're accumulating. Find it maddening, yeah. I'm with you, Reg. I'm with you. There's something I must ask you. Are you glad you came here? And she's like, yes. And Riko is gonna Riko it up again, right? She's gonna take everyone up, lift them up, and be like, here, this is what we're here for. This is the reason we're here for. Right? Because that's how she is. That's who she is. I've never would have seen these landscapes, right? Met these people. It's amazing. You know, I actually had that compass until okay, and they exchange, right? I can no longer see that far ahead. When did it start that he couldn't see ahead anymore? Very interesting. He's like in a cocoon, right? I do wonder. And the smell of Belloff's wishes hang on to her. Interesting. And he says all of that. You see, we wanted to become something beyond human, right? And in a way that reflects us, right? All of us, right? Our desires. We do want to pass something on that is not mortal like us. We do want to go higher, right? Achieve more. See further. Penetrate the giant pit. Surpass humanity. Becoming a hollow, being blessed and gaining power. Possessing a body that'll triumph over the curse, right? And over the harsh environment out there. All of these things. It's only the accumulation of these things, right? With each step we took, right? We became less and less human. But we wanted that. We wanted to go beyond humanity. Like Bondred. Like all the white whistles, we become less than human the more we bore ourselves into the netherworld, into the abyss. But that's what they want, right? And that maybe is what the abyss wants as well. Become a part of me, right? Toughness cultivated through the countless years of nestling up to the netherworld, right? Exposure. Like some radioactive material. And of course they're showing the white whistles right there, because that's the theme that we've been having here. Amazing shot of Liza, by the way. The curiosity and purity to strive towards the beyond. And the heaven-sent children guided here each intermingle, adding to this accumulation. So he's like, all that we gathered, right? We pass it on to you. And you're divinely sent, right? You were meant to come here and we were meant to pass it on. And you're gonna continue accumulating what we had accumulated, right? All of the deeds, the things that happened, the events, but also our wishes, our desires. The ones that are unfulfilled, the ones that are fulfilled, were fulfilled, and the ones that have shattered against reality, right? Or been lost in the dream, right? And the dream is over. And Fapta is figuring her way forward. That is also part of that. Please look after her. Children of the netherworld who harbor homesickness for the end of their journey. But Rico said it's not just the end. That's the interesting thing, and that is why I think Rico actually was like, it's not gonna go the way you think it's gonna go. Something more frightening than unfulfilled dreams awaits beyond the gold. It's a prophecy, right? A prophecy. At the very least, realize your dreams and then despair. He's like, fulfill your dreams, realize them. Or did he mean realize what your dreams are and then despair? No, that's been the theme of this layer, right? That's been the theme of the Shoro layer. And Rico, bright smile on her face. Optimistic, not troubled at all. She's gonna smile down and she's like, joke's on you, it's not gonna play out the way you say it will. Fools, all of them. But blessed, amazing, amazing fools. That's why we love them. He's like, that's great. In his last moment, he gets that message. He's like, you're gonna do your own thing. It's gonna be amazing. And we're asking ourselves some questions, and Faputa is calling, right? And they feel the calling. This is the end of their journey anyway. They can't go outside, right? They've been living a living death for all this time. I need refund what's left of the room charge, right? So I've put in a substitute. I don't know what the substitute thing means, but the room charge thing is funny. And they're gonna look for 𝐏𝐢𝐏, and she has another page, right? Cool stuff. And we're kind of saying goodbyes, more or less. And 𝐏𝐢𝐏 didn't realize, right? She was going up all these stairs, but she realized about Rico. She's like, she's pulling them all along, right? She's showing them a dream. And in a way, I'm thinking back to what 𝐸𝐸 was saying. We're not so different, you and I. And yeah, back in the day I took it like, yes, but no. But maybe he was more right than I thought he was. Right? Not that different. Not that different at all, right? She's also one of these people. Like Wasukyan, like 𝐸𝐸. He's gonna pull all these people along with her almost madness, right, for the abyss and her deep connection to it. And she's gonna show them a dream. Now is the question that remains is it gonna be a dream that will be fulfilled? Will they end their journey prematurely, or will they reach the end? The end of all ends. She's like, I made the decision. I made the decision to go on this journey. And at the very least, that is what I can say for myself. Which is beautiful, right? And didn't we all, right? Didn't they all make that decision? And it was a fun journey. And at the moment she realizes that, she thinks back on that, she sees the village has damage, the force field is creeping in, and it's affecting her. And she's saving her. Which, holy shit. That proves in the end that she loved her. 𝐏𝐢𝐏 was her Haku. And we call to Faputa, we talk, we sacrifice an offer, right? And we blow the whistle again, and it's taking a toll on Rico. I do wonder how, if it's just draining her energy, right? Or if it's changing her in a way. I do wonder. I did want to look at this animation because it was absolutely amazing. Let's look at this. He's like, let's do this, right? He's going all out. Come on. We'll get to it. Ooh, look at this. Look at low poly rec. How cute. It reminds me of like that plushie that one of our Discord members actually Nevermore had as his profile pic for a while. Very, very funny. And then keyframe, right? Impact frame. Boom. Love that. The smudge and the crater that's forming. Really cool. That the pieces that are all breaking apart. The inner, like the beam on twos that is slowly getting smaller, right? Perfectly done on that one. And we go in and he's like taking it with him, right? Really, really amazing. Oh, holy, that is a high fucking fidelity shot. Look at this shot. I almost want to use that as thumbnail, but I had Rex so often as thumbnail, so I'm probably gonna use something else. I'm probably gonna go for a group shot or something if I can find a really cool one. Man, Waco. And Fapta meets them. She doesn't have enough energy and they offer themselves. And she says she's taking care of Waco after this. They're gonna end this. Reg is spiraling and he's using the old bridge strat. Holy shit, these shots of Reg are amazing. That too, right? Like the remembrance and how she looks doing it. I wanted to actually, yes, I wanted to see that again, right? For being unable to die with you. There was something that Weko mentioned in here that was actually kind of very important, and I don't think I got 100% of it. I understand that, like, I couldn't forgive myself. Alright, so we did have that with not being able to die with you and whatever. I was trying to keep my connection with you by not forgiving myself. Right? I heard it for the first time while inside of you. A voice even quieter than a whisper. I couldn't tell anyone that what you really wanted wasn't just children. So what did she want? I mean, Waco, right? A family, maybe, right? Waco, beloved, whatever. Family. That's my guess. I don't have any other guess. Maybe that Waco forgive herself, but that is an extension of that. And it doesn't make perfect sense in the way she did the sentence. After that, everything faded away into homesickness. The only thing I could do was make sure I never forgot you. Yeah. And all of that is crumbling away, right? And she's saying I love you, and it ends for her in this moment. Fapta is mostly done. We're all done. We're at the end of all of it. She wants to let herself fall, but Rek obviously catches her. And the force field is also, I think, gnawing on Majikaja. And he's like, let me go into Fapta. I don't know how he can do it, but holy shit, okay, you go. You go, dude. And he's enjoying himself. Holy shit. Of course he is. He's happy as fuck. But he deserves it. He was actually a super nice guy, to be honest. And we ended here. Look at these fucking faces. Holy shit. Yeah. And Ma is gone too, right? Rico giving her the plushie that was... Like, leave it to Rico to remember something like this and actually do something. Also Dad, holy shit, dude. I mean, I guess... took him out of his misery? I don't know. And here's the end. And we have that little, like, tearjerker here. Them just being together. And she's telling her the last, right? She's sharing her memories. She's telling her the last pieces of what she wants to tell. And obviously she understands her because she also understands the stones. And the stones are the ones who are completely eternal, right? You were there for a beautiful shot, right? From, like, shelter. It can represent a lot of things, right? And also, like, the exit opening up for us. Only the memory of your existence. Whereco. I can't roll the R. Whereco. Okay. Whereco. Was nowhere to be found in Fapta. Yeah. Why do I remember it now? Irimiui. Happy I found you, right? Happy all of these things happened, because otherwise we wouldn't have had our time together. And all of them. Fapta, who didn't really know her. Rico, who didn't really know her beyond a very short period. Reg, who really didn't know her. They were all moved to tears. I mean, Nanachi doesn't shed any tears, but she's feeling bad too, right? She can relate. Beautiful shots again, right? Like the... And I do love what she's saying, right? With, like, all of them, right? With the she's not alone until she returns. And we do have that continued theme that they all start kind of low-key believing in, right? If you die, you return to the abyss, and the abyss puts you back out there. So they're on our trails now, not consciously, but subconsciously, right, to a degree. And this heartfelt moment between Regan and Fapta, where he's like, look, I know I don't remember everything, right? I only remember like impressions and whatnot. I don't know why, but you know, give me your hand. We all gonna go on adventures together. I want to get to know you again, right? I didn't know you back when we met, right? Why did we actually click and connect and whatnot and make friends? We made friends the first time, we can make it again. And it's like, that is your role. You wish to cherish those you encounter. We're kind of going back to Marolk, right? And some of the other encounters we made. Rico doesn't... I mean, Rico is sad when people die, right? Rico doesn't want people to be harmed and whatnot, but we do see time and time again her incredible optimism and her just taking in all of these things that people give her along the way, no matter if they end up dying or if they actually just end up parting ways with her. And she takes all of that with her and carries it down to the netherworld. And I will be very curious to see, hopefully in my lifetime, when the story ends. Yeah. Where we end up. And we do have the banter, we established the dynamic, which is amazing. At the end of the homesickness for that which will never return. Within the true darkness. Like Weko, right? With her eyes, with her dark eyes in the true darkness. There certainly was a light that no one could find. Belloff's words, right? Belloff, like, no one else could find that darkness. And here she says no one could find it. But not a single person could take hold of it, right? None of them. The gold that was born of you is free from the yoke called value, right? It's not chained down by any value it is assigned to, right? It's not chained down by all the value it holds, right? It's free. It's free to spread in the abyss. And it's about to set off on the next journey. And in a way, we say yolk, right? Like an egg. Like her coming out of the egg, right? Being born. Being born of the 3 eggs, of the 3rd cradle of desire. Being born out of a literal egg. Top on top on top, right? And then we have yolk as the connecting tissue that's gonna, right? And she's gonna set off and gonna find her own value. Despite knowing that love itself is a curse, which, no, please don't say that. It's not a curse. I mean, you can see it as a curse, but that's not a good way to see it. Love and curse are interconnected. Maybe see it like that. Despite knowing that the path leads only to darkness. Right? Where's a tiny little flicker of a light gonna shine the brightest? In deep, pitch black dark. We had that with Weko and Iremui. And here we have like almost mirroring the end of the 1st season, right? Where we go off with Nanachi, our new member, right? Who has established herself properly. We go off with Fapta, who has established herself properly. But that is probably why it is so very dazzling, right? That little light that shines in the darkness. Because it's only, like, it exists in the darkness. And they... motherfuckers were playing Gravity when the emotional moments hit, and I'm like, no, please don't do this to me. I absolutely love this song. Gravity is... it encompasses in no way, like, in no other... Like no other song in this season, it encompasses this feeling of incredible longing. Not homesickness, but far sickness almost, right? The longing for this far away thing, this wish, this desire that you have. that the entire season was about. Now, obviously, season 1 was partially about that as well, right? Teaching us about this longing that's generally being perceived by everybody who is crazed, obsessed, or, right, intertwined with the abyss. But we strengthen it here and we focus on it alone, right? We see where the longing can go, where it can end, what happens if it ends and shatters before it can be properly fulfilled, right? How we can delude ourselves into being satisfied with something, even though maybe our longing was something different. How we lose our ways, right? How we stumble in the darkness. That's been the theme of the entire season. And it's such a beautiful theme, and I haven't seen a lot of series who really capture this feeling. This incredible longing for something you can't really pin down, right? That you can't really articulate properly. But yeah, that's been Made in Abyss, and we have caught up to the content. Again, I do apologize about the light. I do hope it's enough. I mean, you saw my expressions, right? I might do it a little bit, like I might brighten it a little bit up in post-processing. I just didn't want to do it on camera. I could have brightened it up, but I didn't want to do it on camera because then like my motions become weirdly like delayed. That's just how the camera works. I guess it's too much processing for the camera itself. Yeah. I did absolutely. I love the series. I would be open to doing manga stuff, but I do actually want to wait for 3rd season if there is one coming in the next 1 or 2 years. Because we can maybe react to the 3rd season and then we can just jump into the manga. Unless there's no manga to jump into, because this 3rd season is basically gonna start being produced when the manga actually arrives at the point where we have enough material for a 3rd season, because I do know there's not that much material. Maybe we're actually gonna look into like a chapter or 2 of Made in Abyss and see how, like, if we can take 1 or 2 little steps into it, right? Dip our toes into it, be like, okay, this could be what awaits us, right, with the next season, and then we have a little bit something where we're actually spoiled on. But we have all of the rest of the season to actually just enjoy for ourselves. But I don't know if I could stop if I started reading it, to be honest. So, I mean, tell me in the comments what you want to have, if you rather wait for it or not. But we'll definitely, we're not gonna end it on like this video and that's it. I don't know how long it's gonna take, but we're gonna do some more Made in Abyss content here and there once I have more time again, and we're gonna get into that properly and maybe talk a little bit about like take it apart, analyze it properly. But yeah, that has been Made in Abyss Season 2, Episode 12, the final episode. I actually wanted to record something else today, but my light's been gone out, so I'm just gonna wait till tomorrow, and I'm gonna record the other thing tomorrow. I mean, that's fine, it's already later, so. But yeah, if you did like my video, there's the like button, there's the thumbs up, there's the subscribe button. Make sure to have them both if you wanna be notified. You know, the ring the bell. Check out my Discord, check out my Patreon, and I'll be seeing you in the next reaction video.